seersucker soup on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Well, welcome to Capital Region Today. I'm Ann Pearl, your host, and I'm so happy that you're joining us. And if you see behind me, there is a painting, and we're going to be having an artist on, and we'll be talking to him about his art, and he's even giving art classes, so we'll be able to learn a little bit more about that and how you can take those classes. We have a great lineup today because there's a lot going on in our community. We're going to be talking with the musicians of Malwick. They have a presentation coming up, and they're partnering with a dance group as well, and we'll find out more about that. And then, of course, Schenectady Soup Stroll. Who doesn't like a not hot cup of soup when you're, well, actually a number of cups of soups if you're tasting them all, and that'll be in Schenectady. We'll be talking about that. And then the Chinese Community Center will be here talking about the Lunar New Year, and that's an exciting time for every person that celebrates. So we'll be talking about that, and also a big event coming up at Proctor's, and she'll be telling us about that as well. And then we have our artist coming on to talk about his art and perhaps how you can take his classes. And then we have, for the first time, this is the first time they're on the show, is at the National Bottle Museum, which is located right up in Ballston Spa. So we've got a great lineup today, and I'm so excited to introduce my guests to you. The first guest that we'll be talking to will be Anne Marie Barker Schwartz. I got to get that right.
It's a mouthful.
And, yeah, it's a mouthful. And she's with the musicians of Malwick. So we're going to find out more about your big event coming up, and that's towards the end of the month, right?
It is indeed. We have a collaboration with the Ellen Sinopoli Dance Company on January 24th and 25th.
Two different locations.
Two different locations. The 24th is at the Rep, and it's our mutual debut, which we're very excited about. It's a wonderful space.
It is.
And then at SUNY Schenectady in the auditorium, which is also a great space for seeing dance with good sight lines and excellent acoustics. So we're thrilled about this collaboration and thrilled about the program as well.
Good. So I noticed the name was Celebrated Emblems. So where did that title come from, and how did you put it together?
So it's taken from the big piece on the program, which is by James Lee. He's a Black American composer, and the work was commissioned by Anthony McGill, who is the new principal clarinetist of the New York Philharmonic.
Oh.
And it's a wonderful work titled, it's based on these emblems that date back to the 1800s. Oh. Perhaps a little bit controversial now as they display Native Americans and Black Americans sort of in this iconography. But it brings up, through this piece, the question of identity. Who are we? What is our culture? What is our heritage? How do we fit in? How do we identify?
Important, very important.
Very important questions, and I think they're more relevant than ever today. And so the combination, it's in 4 movements, and the combination of both the wonderful music, and it's a great piece for clarinet and string quartet, paired with...
You're doing a quartet, right? You
play
the violin.
I play the violin, yes. Yeah. And we have 3 other string players and then a clarinetist. And so the music paired with the dance allows for this additional exploration of the theme. And it's not the only piece on the program. We have 3 other works as well, one by Missy Mazzoli, who's another living American composer, really at the peak of her career, brilliant, brilliant, creative writer. So we're doing her Death Valley Junction. And
what an interesting title.
It is,
yeah.
And it's an interesting story. It's sort of inspired by Marta Beckett, who is this dancer who danced on Broadway and also in ballet in New York City in the 40s and 50s. And then decided to take a road trip across the country and ended up in this little tiny town called Death Valley Junction, which is literally an intersection on the sort of edge of Death Valley. And there was an old opera house there. She never left. She restored the opera house.
Oh my.
She painted these amazing murals, and she danced every day until she was 89. So this piece
Wonderful.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
She even made National Geographic, and there are a couple of documentaries about her.
And she was a composer as well.
No,
she was just a dancer.
She was just a dancer.
Okay.
But she was an artist as
yes,
well, actually,
artist.
a fine artist. And so this dance is sort of based on her time in this little town, And
It's an amazing that you can just travel somewhere and all of a sudden know that this is the place you want to be.
it was almost like it was predestined.
Yeah, yeah.
And she said that she didn't want to be buried when she died. She wanted to come back as a dust devil. So Ellen,
Well, she must be at my house.
yeah, right, exactly. So Ellen has called the piece Dust Devil. And it's a great work, a one movement work with lots of very interesting kind of instrumental timbre as you go along.
Yeah. Do we have the photos from the dance so that we can take a look at yeah, there they are. Okay, so these are the photos that she sent. So this, I would assume this is like a modern dance.
Absolutely. Ellen is sort of the premier modern dance company in the region.
In the area,
We're
yeah.
longtime residents at the Egg.
She's
and
amazing, though.
She is amazing, very creative. So I tried my best to not interfere with Ellen's creativity on this. I gave her the music. I told her what my concept and reaction was to the pieces, but then she just went from there. And I think that's the best kind of
So
collaboration.
she choreographed the pieces.
This is all original choreography
Okay.
for this. And I haven't seen the works yet. I've heard her talk about them, and I've heard about what the costuming will be, but I'm very curious to be in our first rehearsal together and sort of experience
Will it be
the
a
two
dress
things.
rehearsal?
Oh yeah, there'll be
Okay,
dress
so
rehearsals,
the rehearsal,
yeah.
so that you'll be able to see what.
Right,
she's
and we
in.
don't have a conductor, so there's a whole, aspect of getting cues and figuring out how things align. So it's going to be very exciting. And
Oh
then
my!
we
Yeah,
have
I
two-
never thought about that. Yeah, because they'd have to know. Yeah.
we have to have an idea what
Yeah.
what the flow is between the two
Exactly.
parts of it.
Yeah.
And then we have two purely instrumental pieces that will sort of fill out the arc of the music, and they once again tie into the theme. One is about the American River, which is sort of our Moldau.
Okay.
And so it's a big river in California where Sutter's Mill was built in the 1840s, and where
The gold,
rush.
wasn't it? The gold? Yeah,
Exactly.
the
And
gold
what more
rush.
could tie
Yeah.
into Death Valley, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then we have another piece by George Walker, who was a black composer at Curtis at the same time as Samuel Barber. And he wrote this amazing work called Lyric for Strings, which is just like, achingly beautiful.
Yeah.
So we've got those four pieces, and we're also going to show a little tiny film about Marta Beckett called Dust Devil.
Well, why not?
Right.
Yeah, that's
With
perfect.
her speaking and dancing, and showing the opera house and all the murals she painted. So I think for people it will be a wonderful
It sounds like
sort
a
of
wonderful
trajectory as they watch
It's not
the
just
program.
one thing. You've kind of pulled a lot of things together with the story, the backstories. It's just wonderful.
I think it will be powerful for people
Yeah.
to experience the entire thing, and I think that they can exist separately, but the pieces make this wonderful flow as well.
Now, you talk about current composers. How difficult is it for? I mean, and I'm assuming this is more of a classical. It's not, we're in a hip hop or anything like that.
Definitely not hip hop.
No, I know. But I mean, these are classical pieces. How do they? It's not like they're playing on the radio and you hear them and you go, "Oh, that sounds like a pretty good one. Let me try that." How do you learn about these?
Well, curiously enough, two of the works I heard on NPR Performance Today.
I listen to NPR too.
And
yeah.
it's such a wealth of new, interesting music.
They do, yes,
And
absolutely.
So I thought these would be perfect works for this. And then the other two, I knew about the George Walker, and I had heard the Missy Mazzoli live in performance and loved it. Plus, I love Death Valley, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
all kind of came together.
That sounds really great. So I'm sure that this is going to be a fabulous production, and it is ticketed. That's correct.
It is ticketed, yes.
Okay.
So
And they can get their tickets online?
They can. They
Okay.
can. And when you go for the rep performance in Albany, that will go through the Proctor's website, but we're linked up on our website through it, and then for us for the Schenectady
For the
performance.
Schenectady too.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, if you go to the Proctor's, make sure you're at the Proctor's website, because there's another one on top that tries to steal it, and their prices are not even
I
close.
think that's called scalping.
Scalping. They're scalpers. So please make sure you are at the correct website for
Right.
Proctor's. That's
Right.
true. And of course, CapRep is part of the Proctor's Collaborative,
It
so
is
that's
indeed,
how that
yeah.
works out. Well, I hope that you have a wonderful turnout, and it sounds like a wonderful production. And you're saying the first one is going to be at CapRep.
Yes.
Okay, and that is afternoon or evening?
It's evening at 7
It's
o'clock.
an evening. Okay,
Yes.
and what about the one at
That's a matinee at 3 o'clock.
Matinee. I knew there was one that was a matinee,
Yes.
so I want to make sure
Yes.
that. So if you don't like to drive at night, you got a chance to go to plenty of free parking and handicap accessible. It's just
Both places. Right.
yes, absolutely.
Right.
Check this out. And I think you're in for a treat to see this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going
I
to try
think
and
so,
get to
too.
one of those productions.
That
so
would be
yeah,
great.
yeah, great. Thank you so much, Anne Marie, and congratulations to the musicians of Malwick for continuing to go on. And now you have an executive director, and so,
We do, and
yeah.
it's our 25th anniversary
I
this
know.
year.
Is that?
I can't believe it. I don't know how that
I
happened.
know. I don't either. I'm in my 27th year, and where did the time go?
It
So,
flies.
Yes. Well, have a wonderful time.
Thank
oh,
you
yeah,
very
I know
much.
you will, because she's a fabulous violinist. Oh, when you did the thing, at the Jewish,
Thank you
You're
very
wonderful. So anyway, thank you so much. We're going to switch over now and talk to our other guests. And of course, who doesn't like soup on a cold day? And in Schenectady, they have the best soups. Not only do they have the best soups, they have creative soups. So, Maureen, tell us all about it. You're with
Absolutely.
the Downtown Schenectady Improvement Corporation.
I
Yeah.
am indeed, and this is one of the perks of the job, that I get to be right on the forefront of getting all those delicious creative soups out in front of people.
And I wasn't kidding about creative.
Yeah, and you know what? There's all sorts of different things that you can do with soup. So when we're talking about, we're going to have a soup stroll, we're not popping a can of Campbell's and sending you on
you're
your
not
way.
doing that? Oh.
Not doing that. So there's so many things that you can do with soups, and the versatility is absolutely embraced by our restaurants, because the creative minds that run the kitchens at all of these locations are working overtime here. We have some really good soups coming in. In fact, folks are still submitting their soup recipes for us. So,
Oh, you get to see the recipes?
Oh, we get to see what's coming out before anyone else. So
Okay.
without
Not just the name, you get the recipe too?
Oh no, we don't get the breakdown
Oh,
of the
you don't
recipe.
do- oh, you get
but
the names,
We
okay.
get the names and the descriptions.
Okay.
So but folks really have a lot of fun either coming up with something interesting that you can't just find anywhere else. And will really be a good indicator for what you can expect when you go back to that restaurant another time.
So these are dishes or soups that they've created for this event, but they will continue to keep them on the sometimes.
Some may, and sometimes they're just using it as an opportunity to showcase either the type of creative thinking that they have, or really lean into the identity of the restaurant. So, for example, we've got things like Wolf's Beer Garden, who always does a classic German soup, and you can always expect something great there. Katie O'Burns is doing a Guinness
Irish.
potato soup.
Yeah.
So
I
it's-
love potato soups.
Me
Yeah.
too, me too. So a lot of folks really lean into their own identity as a way to introduce themselves to the world for folks who may not have been there before, but they're sure going to want to go back again afterward.
Now, the way they do that is that they get a sample of, but almost a third of a cup almost. Of soup.
Yes, yep. So it's $1 a sample, and it's a 3-ounce sample that you get for every restaurant that you go to, which is great because it's an easy price point. It makes it easy to pick and choose where you want to go, but if you're able to hit everyone there, you're also not having to waddle your way back to the car when you're done.
That's true. So, okay. So how many restaurants have already signed up, or are
So
they still
it's-
signing up?
They're still signing up now. Our registration goes to the end of the week, but last year the restaurants came out in full force, and we were rewarded with our biggest year yet. So last year we had 6,000 people attend the soup stroll. 6,000 people. So now we're in our 9th year. We're expecting it to continue growing. Just in our Facebook group alone.
6,000 people?
Yeah. Just
That's
in
a
our
lot of soup.
In our Facebook group alone, we have over that amount saying they're interested already, and we haven't even started releasing the flavors. So I think as soon as we start rolling out that list, that interest is just going to grow and grow, because it is a mouth-watering list.
Well, a little pun there, but anyway. So when is this coming up?
So the soup stroll is going to be on Saturday, January 25th. It'll
Okay.
be 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you can skip
you can
lunch that day.
stretch it right out.
Absolutely. Skip lunch that day, because there's going to be plenty of options for you. And it's all walkable, because they're all downtown restaurants.
Okay, so now we have a few new restaurants in the area, so are they participating?
We do. So there's going to be a couple of new restaurants participating. And
One took over the Asian fusion.
correct.
Yeah.
So Ember and Cork, they're already in. And so
We got
they're
Vice and Virtue. Are they participating?
and they participated in some of our past ones
Okay.
too. They've become great partners for our different collaborative events. But we also have new things going on, like everyone's so excited about the basketball team that's coming to the Armory.
Yeah,
So
they're going to be on the show, I think, next month.
Yeah, so the Armory is participating in the soup stroll too with their Fiery Phoenix soup to embrace the Phoenix team coming in. You know, everyone is having so much fun finding ways to either introduce themselves to our community or to highlight things that are coming up. And it's a great reason to just keep coming back to Schenectady.
Yeah, that's, well, and Fiery Phoenix, that is
So
really
fun,
cool.
right?
Yeah, it's so, I mean, and of course they're so creative. Kim Rainey over there is just such a sweetheart too.
I
And
know.
and they do have a kitchen there as well. So just knocked over my water, excuse me guys, so it wasn't open, so we're good shape here. Yeah, so they're doing a great job. So let's see, so you could start, say, in Park down by Armory, and then you could walk up. So
Then keep right on walking, and you can hit Frog Alley. They have a new partner that they're doing with Ruggerio's, and they're participating this year. Then you could hit.
oh, Frog Alley is.
Yes, yep,
So it's not a
absolutely.
beer soup or something?
No, they're bringing in. I believe it's a Southern wedding soup, I think. So
Southern wedding.
yeah,
Okay,
so
good.
it'll be an interesting thing. But you know, as you're making your way downtown, there's lots of places to loop around, and it's such a walkable district that
And then
it's
of course
really
J
great.
Street.
There's so much to do,
There's
so
so
much
much
to
there.
see.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? If you need to take a little bit of a break from the cold, there's all those great shops where you can pop right in. It makes for a nice little afternoon.
Yeah, and bring your kids and
Yeah.
and walk and enjoy.
Yep.
And let's hope that the weather is kind of like deciding to sprinkle on the springy.
You know, and that's the luck that we had last year. So last year we ended up with the perfect weather day. It was still chilly, so you wanted all of the soup, but it made it pleasant to stay outside. We're asking everyone to keep their fingers crossed that we have the same luck this
Okay,
year.
so I guess since you mentioned that, what happens if we get a snowstorm that day? I'm not wishing it.
We're not wishing it. Let's not put that out into the universe. But is there ever a time that you wanted a warm cup of soup more than when the snow is falling around you?
You know, I think, I have to say this. So people gripe about weather, but think back on your whole life. What are the most memorable events that you had? It's when it snowed, when you weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
Or those are the things that kind of create a memory for
Well,
you.
and you know what? Right now we live in a world of social media and Facebook memories and things like that. And so if you're looking at photos where it's a beautiful day, oh, we had so much fun, we got to taste, 17
Yeah.
soups that day. Great. If it turns out that we do end up with snow, think of how fun those photos
I
will
know,
be to look back at.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
It'll be fun.
And
so.
how are the lines? So, because I've seen some of the photos. Actually, did you bring up the photos, Raymond? I'm not sure. But let's take a look at some of those photos that you did send. Well, those are
Yeah,
showing.
so there's some great different soup options. Folks figure out their own garnishes and flavor profiles, so it makes it really great to incorporate whatever the organization
right.
really
And
wants
then
to
there's
promote.
some photos of the crowds.
And
so
there's some photos of the
there's-
crowds too. So there's all sorts of different lines to things. So check which line you're in, but you really can't go wrong with any of them. But because it's a single serve sample, most of them do a pretty good
Pretty
job
fast.
of moving the line through. And the blessing and the curse of volume is that there's always going to
Do
be
they
a line.
run out? Sometimes do they run out?
It depends on how well they're preparing, how popular their spot is.
Does it go back to the
depends
kitchen,
on
make
the
some
day.
more?
This is one of those events that because it's sample by sample, $1 at a time, you don't know how many people are going to get into your
That's
line.
right,
You don't
that's
know
right.
how many people. It's not a pre-sold event.
Yeah, I know.
So the recommendation is always to get in early because at the very least it gives you more opportunities
Now,
to visit spots.
when you go there, suppose I come, which I hope to,
Mm-hmm.
will I get a list so that I can, oh wait, I want to
Yes.
check that one first?
Yeah,
or
so we
something?
always create both a list so that you can plan for any dietary needs that you have. We'll list what is gluten-free or vegetarian or vegan.
Oh, and that's listed on there too?
Yep, and we've got a number of great vegan options
Oh,
this
that's
year.
great.
So we'll always list who they are, what they're serving, and what any dietary restrictions they've told us about in advance so that you can really plan your trip. But because it's plotted out on a map as well, you know where you're heading next.
Now, do they get to vote?
Oh yeah, you get to vote. So last year, we were still doing a traditional ballot box. You filled out your form, 10 soups or more, and you can go ahead and vote for your favorite. Submit your ballot box, and it was all counted afterward. This year we've gone to digital voting. So as you're going through, you can be keeping track of, I really love this one. And once you're done for the day, you can you cast your vote for your absolute favorites. And then we also have judges as well to make sure that we have an even playing field so that they make sure to get to every single restaurant, taste every single soup.
Oh, so the judges also do that too, yeah?
Yes, the judges vote as well, but the judges have a duty to make sure that they taste all of them to make sure it's an even playing field and their votes are reflective of every single restaurant.
Now, one other question though. Suppose somebody wanted to get a sandwich during that afternoon. Not that the soups aren't enough, but what if they just decide let's sit down and have a little dinner or a sandwich?
And most of these restaurants are open or have other specials going on as well. If there's someone who is really known for a certain dish that's a grab and go, they're probably going to have it available. A lot of the places that have bars will be open so that you can go in and have a drink if you wanted to just take a break from the cold or grab a cup of coffee or, if you wanted to go and have a full meal,
you can
grab
still do
any
that.
one of the restaurants because most of them set up outside.
Oh, they're
so
outside.
that it's
okay.
an easy pass through, or they have a workaround so that there's a very distinct line that goes through for the soup
So they can
stroll
go into the restaurant if you
versus
want,
the restaurant portion.
So it doesn't congest the restaurant itself.
Well, we always try not to.
Well,
it always depends on the restaurant and the setup, but the
Yeah.
idea is that folks can move around as they need to and keep the event and any coordination on the restaurant's part as separately as we can.
My question is, okay, so I show up. What do I do? I mean, is there a place to check in, or how does that
Yep.
work?
You pick your starting point, and then you're just going to pay as you go. So you could either download the map in advance, or there will be copies on site.
There'll be a hard copy.
Yep, and you can just sort of check them off. But we're going to have the QR codes for voting posted at every single station. There will be posters up so that even if you don't have a printed copy, you can look up and see what the soup is that they're giving for the day, and just jump right in line and enjoy.
Okay, now before you go, because we're almost out of time, what was the most interesting on the list so far?
I'm really curious of what the Fiery Phoenix is. I think
there's going to be a little jalapeno in that one.
I would think so. There's a couple of really good creamy turkey soups that are on the list for this year. There's a Greek orzo soup, which is going to be
good with the rice.
delicious.
Yeah.
And some that are Indian inspired that have little garlic naan with them. So because it's such a varied list, it's hard to pick a favorite.
I wasn't looking for a favorite. I would just say the most unusual is what I was looking at. Yeah.
But it's so interesting because you're not going broth for broth or chowder for chowder. It's a whole,
There's no
group of them.
this time, right?
Well, I can't say that there's not. I can't say that there's not.
Well, Maureen is from the Downtown Schenectady Improvement Corporation. Their offices are in the lower end of State Street, and you can stop in and say hi to them at any time you want. But they create such really great things, and the next one coming up is Restaurant Week, and we'll find out about that at another time.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here,
Thanks for
Maureen.
having me.
Good. We're going to switch over here, and we're with the Chinese Community Center. Hi.
Hi, it's me
Wei
again.
and Wei. Yeah, good. I won't make a mistake calling them, right?
Yeah, similar.
Similar. And I should say early Happy New Year.
Thank
Year
you.
of the Snake.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right. So, and do you know what is the symbol of the year of snake? I got questioned this all the time.
The symbol, it's a
the
snake.
symbol year of the snake. What does so you
It's
know
like
but snake as a symbol
It's
is actually
compassion, isn't it, or something?
Yes, actually go back to one of the earliest totem of the Chinese ancient culture,
Mm-hmm.
and then related to the Asian god. So our famous, the most well-known god of China, Nuwa, she has been legendarily recorded as a figure with human head,
Okay.
but then with the snake tail.
Oh, with snakes? Yeah,
It
okay.
is,
Not
it
like
is.
Medusa with all the snakes coming out of her
Yeah,
head.
but this one, Nuwa is a very loving figure because she's the one who used her own body to fix the falling sky to save all the humans on the world.
Oh, I
so
love
the,
these stories. I love these
you
stories.
see. So the snake symbol is actually quite important in
Yes,
Chinese culture,
yes.
kind of like the Egyptians. I'll just
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
Exactly.
Yes, there.
And then this year is the green green snake year. So its color is green. It kind of it will hold
do
all
they
the color.
change the
Yeah,
colors?
yeah, they do.
I
Change.
did not know
yeah,
that.
Well, there's more detail over there. And then the snake zodiac symbol, we can usually call it little dragon. So we can call this year is a little green dragon year too. You know, it's kind of interesting.
Good.
Yeah.
And of course, you brought a dragon dancer with you.
Absolutely. That's why I'm gonna. Wei Wei is a superb dancer. So she is one of the dancers in our CCC Square Dance Club. So
You have a square dance club?
yes.
Who's the
yeah.
caller?
So well, the square dance. I mean, we have so many
I'm
clubs,
just
dance
kidding.
clubs. I know. Yeah. I'm trying to get that. And so in this dance club, they incorporate with all sort of square dance and free dance style. They invent their own, and then the dragon dancers emerge from this club and become something elaborate everywhere, want them, but it's started from the CCC members. They wanted to do that, not like we wanted to invent, but our members,
The
like
members
her,
did.
they
Okay.
did.
What is the dragon dance? Wei.
It's your turn to answer.
Yeah. So the dragon dance is the history can go back thousands of years. It's main part of the culture of Chinese New Year. It kind of celebrates the prosperity of the new year, good luck, dignity. So it is a very important part of our culture.
Yeah. Well, we're a son of dragon. Okay. So
This isn't the dragon that goes in with all they put the.
Yeah, right. That's true. And this year, the Wei Wei's team present its opening show, opening program for our Lunar New Year Gala
Okay,
show
tell
this
me
year.
when that is, because I got to be there.
You have to go. So it'll be on Sunday, February the 2nd, on 2025
Okay.
in the Egg.
Okay.
In the Egg.
Oh, in the egg.
In the Egg, right.
Oh, you're doing a big one.
The second year, I mean, we have done a show, Lunar New Year show in Egg for many years, apart not the pandemic year. So, what did you think about our Lunar New Year, the Year of the Dragon, the previous Lunar New Year show in Egg?
I just absolutely love seeing the dancers, and I love seeing the dragon come out, with the running around the thing, there's just so much. I mean, your events are so rich.
Oh, thank you.
That's the only word I can think of, is rich in culture. And it, having been to China, I mean, it just makes me feel the same.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you so much. I would just say that's because we have so many talented community members. I'd say majority of the programs are coming from them. We are a membership-based nonprofit organization. And
right.
we're not like professionals.
Yeah.
However, we do have few
You're very
professionals
professional
in
in
the
what
show.
you do, though.
Right. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this time, the show in the Egg, the Year of the Snake, we have over 200 performers. It's the biggest performer number in the CCC history. I have to say that, over 200.
Oh my
And the
gosh,
program,
I can't even imagine. Well, it's going to be really great because I do love going to that performance. That happens to be Groundhog's Day. Did you know that?
I know that,
Yeah,
so
I
I want to
know.
make sure it's going to be a celebration. So the groundhog come up. I want to see the show too, right? So it's going to be a
wait
great
minute.
weather day.
But the actual date of the beginning of the Lunar New Year or the Spring Festival is on the 29th.
It is on
So
the 29th.
what's special about the 29th this year?
Oh, very good question, Anne. So this year, that January 29th is on the Wednesday, and then all the public school kids, students, will stay at home and celebrating with us for the Lunar New Year. So we have been waiting for a really long time to see, because then all the not only Chinese but Asian Southeast Asian related, Lunar New Year related.
Well, the Lunar New Year, that would be like Korea. They would sell, and Japan, would they as well?
Yeah, although Japan celebrate in a slightly different day.
Oh, it's different day. Okay.
But then the people from Vietnam, the heritage from Vietnam and
Malaysia?
Singapore,
Yeah.
It's a big group of in Asian culture that we celebrate Lunar New Year. So that's what I say. We've been waiting for this for a long time. So since last year, the bill got passed into law, so public school students can have the day off. So
And not only that, but it helps to spread the culture a little bit more and have, understand what it is, because it's so delightful. It really is.
It is.
Now, there's also a production coming up at Proctor's that is going to be, I think it's called Firecracker or something like that. Yeah, tell me a little bit. I know that you're not involved with that, but you can tell us about it.
I'm getting involved with that.
Oh, you are getting involved? This
Yeah.
woman is everywhere.
No. I've been fortunate to had a conversation with the director of Nia Chen Dance Group. They are a professional dance group in New York City, and they are talking about collaboration with them. So the CCC team will have a program into the Nia Chen Dance as an opening program.
Oh my goodness, how wonderful.
It's just amazing because they're professionals, so we've been really honored to be able to do that. And then they're going to have a workshop in the CCC building with our dancers. We're like, this is amazing.
You made such a wonderful connection.
Oh, no, thanks for Proctor Theater. I mean,
Yeah.
they contacted us. We have been having a great connection. We celebrate our 50th anniversary in practice, and then the leaders have been always come over to the Lunar New Year show as much as you. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate the connection over there.
Absolutely wonderful. Now, is Wei Wei going to be working with them as well?
That part we need to work on a little bit
Okay.
more. Only just started. But wait, tell us about your opening show program this year. I mean, your team. So was it going to be not only dance but like drum involved? I've been looking at the drumming. Tell us about that.
So the drumming is always, I feel like it's like the instrumental music is in ancient times more like a way of communicating to our gods.
There we
That's
go.
the sounding. So it's also the early ages is like for praying for rain.
So the drum is very important then.
It is.
Yeah.
For me, I really enjoy just the energy of it.
No, I love the drumming because and usually you see the in the back and they're doing the thing.
Right, but it's a large one though. They're
Yeah.
like this large, and the sound of it, that's why Wei Wei is so energetic. So it's supposed to wake up the gods in the heaven. We're praying something.
hearing you.
Yeah,
Do you
we're
hear
here.
us?
We're praying. Please answer our prayers. So that was that. So that's the show will open like that.
Yeah.
And then with a lot of other programs, we have this gorgeous Peking opera. We have the beautiful long sleeve dance. We have Mongolia
the fan dance?
dance.
You're doing the
Yeah, the fan dance.
Well, not that fan dance that you might be thinking of. This is a different fan.
Yeah, they're just absolutely gorgeous. And this time we also have the very authentic the CC Eastern Music Ensemble with all the the folk instrument will be on display, and they're gonna perform some absolutely beautiful tunes. And even our Chinese school students, they're gonna perform some really energetic hip hop dance, and the little kids wear their Chinese New Year suit and then singing dance, and then just say everything comes from the community. This is what the Chinese community in the capital region offer our best, So we're not professional. And the last show you were in, our last Lunar New Year show in the Egg was a sold-out show.
I know it was.
980 seats sold-out show.
Yeah.
So
it's a wonderful event. Now, Wei, are you a choreographer as well?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I used to teach Zumba as well, so I just kind of like dancing and like movement in all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to see you dance sometimes.
yeah,
Well,
she is a great
I'll see
dancer.
you on the Lunar New Year, right?
Yeah.
She is very passionate. And then Wei is also joining me to a set of the Lunar New Year cultural assembling, school assemblings, library events, and also Office of General Service. We go everywhere during this 2 months.
I
I'll
don't
be
know.
really
I think
busy.
you have to turn her around because what you'll find is two big batteries in the back.
Thank you. I need to get it charged once in a while before it is completely dry.
Right. Well, now don't go anywhere because I'm going to bring in another guest that I have here because he's also associated with the CCC.
Yes.
Exactly. And we have Arping with us as well. You are an artist, and this is some of your art.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit how you got started.
This is about 8 years ago. We have Valentine's Day, and so my wife and I somehow we created something to celebrate.
Oh, okay.
For our also as well as marriage.
Okay.
So I started with did some painting.
And you
rock.
hadn't painted before, or had you?
I have been, it's my favorite subject. I've been like it since my childhood.
Okay.
But you're busy, you're pursue your graduate studies, career, and then raise family and kids.
You don't have always time. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So the 2014 is when my second child went to college. Then we have free time. That's when I started.
Yeah, so you really kind of bore into it, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, I love your art, first of all.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's simple and it's there. I mean, it's just so, I love the one with the crabs. I mean,
Chinese painting have.
and this is all brush painting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
brush
took a
with-
brush painting course, but I had more globs than I had.
You can see Chinese painting have a lot of white space and leave the background empty, but that gives you some imagination, but also it wanna the subject to be prominent.
Well, and it is. I mean, if you look here, all right, let's start with this over here. It's really just a branch that jumps out at you. Yeah.
Yes, that's what we call detailed and non-detailed.
Detail.
Yeah, so they take a branch, take like a cutting, but symbolize.
But you
know,
don't
so
do the whole
emphasize-
thing. You just focus on one part of it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see this. I hope there's not a lot of. I guess they're on that. This is the one that we're looking at over here. I'm sorry. But this is the one you see that it's sort of this branch just comes out into the painting with a little of the bamboo shoots there.
Yes. The pine tree is evergreen.
Yeah.
So
you can tell the evergreens there.
right.
Yeah.
So it's a symbolize of the culture, and it is longevity and health and perseverance, since it is standing in a very cold winter.
Mm-hmm.
So also the bamboo share the similar spirit. It's during the winter. It is still keeps it strong, keeps green in most of the country.
The bamboo. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
That's why you have the pandas, right?
right. So it is one of the bamboo is one of the 4 noble plants, and it symbolizes the gentleman's virtue, and so it's flexibility, perseverance. It can bend but not broken.
Break.
Yeah.
But let me ask you now. I noticed that there's writing there. Is that like a famous poem, or is that something that you wrote? Tell me what that is.
That's my own poem verse.
Okay.
So it says, it's the noble spirit and the clear insight reflect on the world.
Okay.
So make the world even shamed. Why is that? Because many human, they don't do well as the pine tree. or the
Oh, I
bamboo.
see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes.
Where is the bamboo? Yeah.
Right, like integrity and perseverance. People can easily, retreat from the hardship.
As a
things
hardship,
like
yeah,
that.
exactly. So I really, this is very nice. This is very nice. Let's talk about the one with the cranes.
These
These are the cranes, right?
Cranes are also popular subjects, and because they are usually accompany with the immortality and the you see those stories, and they are carefree and they are graceful, and
they're very great. And there's two cranes here in this. And what is the branch there that's coming down?
that's
So
that's a banana leaf.
That's banana.
It's a very-
You have
you-
bananas there?
Yeah, you can see that. Well, we want to see the banana leaves are very broad leaf
Yeah.
and big. So that's a symbolize broad-minded.
I love your ideas of painting.
Thank you.
Such great symbolism.
So broad-minded, so it remind people, don't pay too much attention to small details, and too narrow-minded. So which associated with longevity and healthy and harmony with the
So
nature.
there's a lot of imagery in your paintings. In other words, you think these out spiritually.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. The Chinese painting have a lot of non-artistic elements behind it. You have to read behind, not just the image, not just a repetition or copy of the nature, but it has something behind.
Okay, now there's one behind you which has the chrysanthemums and the crabs. Okay, and the tea. I don't get that. What is the connection there other than a good meal?
This painting creates an atmosphere of the celebration of a double ninth of the September. In Chinese culture, 9 is the young number, so like all odd numbers young.
Okay.
9 is the biggest number.
Okay.
The biggest.
Big,
So
okay.
so the September is the 9th month of the lunar.
The 9th month of the year.
Right, and that's the 9th day.
I thought
So
8
the
was
double
a
ninth.
good number in China.
That becomes the businessman.
Oh, the business.
Because it sounded like get rich.
Got to have 8 horses in there.
Yeah, the 9 is symbolize the longevity,
Okay.
health, and it's a
So that's why the food is health, to bring health to you.
right. And during that time, because September is the fall, it's the harvest time. So you got this, and there's also crabs are the rich time, and they're going to hibernate, so they have good,
I see,
good
yeah.
nutrition. That's most the good time. And then you have this wine to, of course, the feast
Yes.
cannot be a good one without wine.
Wine, a little.
Yeah, right. So.
That wine is pretty strong.
Right, and then you see the plates. You got a full of the plates. Even one crab dropped out.
I see that he's laying on the.
Yeah, that has meaning in it. It means the abundance of the sources, the life.
Okay.
It even can spill out. That's
You
a
got
good
to
meaning.
get a narration with every one of his paintings because they're wonderful.
Right.
But let me just
and
go
and
ahead.
also the chrysanthemum is also the one of the 4 noble
It is.
plants.
Yeah.
And it is the time where the blossom. So you get this cut of the flowers and put it in a vase and decorate.
And then
the
there it is.
festa.
Yeah. And
yes.
I mean, each of your paintings has such a wonderful story. But let me bring in way over here because you're saying he's going to be giving some classes at your.
Yeah, right. So An Ping just did his artistic explain about
I
all the
love
artwork,
this. Isn't
right?
this wonderful?
Right. So, but if you want to know An Ping, more about his background and all the artistic things about Chinese paintings history, just go to our website. It's ccc.albany.org/art. So you just go to our program. There are quite a few programs there. One is art, and then
yeah.
An Ping's description and everything is over there, and all the classes they offer in the CCC as well.
And you're giving classes twice a month, which is on the 2nd and the 4th Saturday, I believe.
Yes. And the class has been going on since November 2nd and the 4th Saturday from 10 to 12 at the CCC headquarters
Now, do you want, if suppose I came to one class, everything would be there. I don't have to bring anything?
Yes, you're right. We can supply
The canvas and everything, or
right.
the paper. They usually do it on
Yes,
paper,
yes.
yeah.
The rice
Because
paper.
I have taken it, and I don't know, I can't seem to get control of the ink or something. You know?
Yeah,
But I was looking very carefully at your chrysanthemums, and there's like every little line is there, and I'm thinking, what kind of a brush did he use on that one?
But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, certainly the Chinese painting will stimulate your interest into its aesthetic appreciation and even calm or please your heart, and play very positive role in mental health too.
I was going to say, this to me, once you're starting into this, you get into what I call a zone. You know, you're kind of focused and everything else goes away while you're doing this, right?
Exactly, it's similar as calligraphy.
Yeah.
It's just calm you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Richard does. Richard does wonderful calligraphy. He's been on the show too. Yeah.
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 So also I want to just bring up Chinese painting. It's not just the copy of the nature. It is also, especially what I am focusing on is the literati painting. So it is it has 4 elements: the painting, the poem, calligraphy, and the seal.
I see. It's all
Yeah.
in that
Right.
one.
Some of the seals I carved myself.
Right.
So this is considered is also integrated part of the entire painting.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming back to Wei, because I'm going to have to let you go to get another guest on here, Wei and Wei.
Just want to mention one
Go
thing
ahead.
though, because Anping will be in the Lunar New Year show. During intermission, both Anping and our calligraphy master Richard would have their table. They'll write people's name, they'll demonstrate their work on site. So
Okay.
anybody can have the chance to come over to the Lunar New Year show.
And okay, and I'm going to let you go because I have to get my next
Yeah.
guest on here. I want to thank you both for being here so much. Can't wait to see you dance, and I'm going to be there. You know, I'll be there. Yes.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to come back now to Arping and talk to you a little bit more about your paintings. Are your paintings for sale, or do you just do them because you love to do them and hang them in your house?
Initially, I just do it for my house. I decorate our house, our living room, and get rid of those old paintings. Then gradually, we are called to participate in some of the exhibition. We started with this, especially during the COVID pandemic. So we participate in some of the paintings, and I also went to various shows. We are still going, such as the Stockade.
The Stockade Art Show,
Village,
yeah.
Outdoor shows.
Yeah, we promote that here too. as well.
Yeah, Saratoga, Beekman District, Art in the Park. We also attend the Asian American Heritage
Yes.
Month in past March.
Yeah.
So I attend various
So
shows.
you got your art out there.
Yes.
right?
So some of them said, "Oh, you are required for sale." So that's the started. So I think if I have chance, I can talk about
Okay,
the 2
we're
more
almost
paintings.
out of time. Go ahead.
Okay. So one of the paintings I did
That's
this.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yes. And
Look at that.
And this one is consists of calligraphy, the words. They has a content such as movie titles, descriptions. Of course, some of them from Wikipedia. You know what
Yeah.
is about Marilyn.
Yeah.
So some of
That's amazing. That's
some
amazing.
of them are English.
Yeah, we need to get you back on again because we're out of time now, though.
Yeah.
Arping.
And just last minute, I do paint some of the Chinese zodiac.
Oh,
This is like a tiger,
And the monkey.
and so
Yeah.
I just heard your one of the.
Oh, I'm a
So
rat.
this is for
I'm a
you.
rat. Okay. Oh, Shishi.
Yeah,
Shishi.
you're welcome.
I am a rat. I was born under the sign of the rat. And Greg was my husband was a tiger, and I guess we didn't get along, but we did get along very well. So thank you so much. Yes.
You're
it's
welcome.
Such a pleasure to meet
Thank
you.
you for having
Yes.
me here.
Yes. Shishi. Chris, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah,
Ann.
you're back on the show. And, he's also a city historian, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about a bottle museum.
Yes, the National Bottle Museum
Who
in
knew?
Boston Spa. Many of us know, but one of the reasons I'm here is because you're asking questions like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So tell me about the bottle museum, and we had some photos there, which I thought were quite good. Where do you get these bottles? I mean, I know you're new as the executive director, but you got to know all this stuff too.
Well, the National Bottle Museum, in our collection, we have approximately 5,000 bottles dating all the way back to the early 18th century and moving forward, as well as tools for glass blowing, glass making. And as far as we know, we are the only museum in the United States focused purely on bottles and bottle making.
And there were some very artistic bottles because I have a collection of some of old pharmaceutical bottles, and some of them would have the names on the side, and they'd have, I mean, they'd be in different colors and.
Well, if you keep in mind, before we used plastic for everything, everything was in glass, and glass was not only the carrier of your products, but the glass itself was your way to advertise it, using different colors, different embossing, all these kind of tools.
Yeah, and they used like corks, or some of them had screw, but they started out with corks.
Oh
first.
yeah, there's all kinds of closures. Cork, Cork was one of the most famous. There's of course the flip top closures, Hutchinson closures,
Yeah.
a lot of others.
Yeah. So how large is the museum? If someone wanted to go there, would they spend a whole day, or would it be? Tell me more about it.
You're more likely to spend about an hour there.
Okay.
It's 2 floors. Our first floor is our main exhibit hall, which has our big bottle of walls as well as a lot of our other permanent exhibits. Going up to the second floor, we have many of our temporary exhibits as well as our art gallery. Our
You
Jan
have
Rutland
you have an
Memorial-
art show coming up.
Yeah, we
up
have-
through
yeah.
February 15th, I think.
Yep, the Jan Rutland Memorial Art Gallery, which has been in the museum for about 15 years. We do 6 shows a year, and currently running, we have one which was an open casting call, and our board selected the 9 people who are featured, and all forms of media are there. It's photography, acrylic and oil painting. We even have a person who did steampunk statues and things like that, all for sale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's wonderful. So it's more of a community gathering, to come in there and see art and to see the bottles. Do you continually get new bottles, or is somebody digging out in the backyard? Because don't forget, plastic might do that, crush, but bottles don't unless they break.
Yeah.
But
We constantly have bottles coming in. We get them from a number of sources. Mostly there's from personal donations. We don't buy anything. But people will come in and we'll take any bottles you want to give us, and we do one of 3 things with them. If there's something unique, we put them into our collection. If it's something that's good but not germane or not of enough style to fit into our collection, we have various ways of using those in pieces of art, or in a
display or
in other
something.
displays, right?
Yeah.
And then also, we'll have people who come in and give us bottles from last year, and we just take those and recycle them.
yeah, recycle them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say thank you very much,
Yes.
right? That's
Yeah.
a thank you doesn't hurt, right?
And we do get bottles in from many of the bottle clubs around the country. In fact, one of the exhibits we're most proud of is we have an exhibit of antique bottles from every state in the country. All of them sent to
Really?
us by
You got the
bottle
Coca-Cola
clubs.
bottles?
Oh, yeah, we have little Coca-Cola bottles.
With on the bottom, they used to have the city that they.
Yes, indeed.
Right, didn't
yes,
they?
indeed, yeah. Bottling in this region was very popular. It comes out of the fact that there were major springs in both Boston Spa and Saratoga.
Oh, Saratoga, yeah.
And because of that, quite a few bottling companies, came into formation. So that's why we're located here, or in Boston Spa in the Capital District.
So this is a national,
We are-
recognized as a national.
Yes, we are the National Bottle Museum.
How
yes.
exciting
It
is that?
It is. We focus mostly on the capital region, but we're beginning to move more outside. As I said, we work with a lot of bottle clubs around the country, but we're going to start doing a lot more online talks, Zoom talks, as we all became familiar with during COVID. And we're going to be working with our bottle club associates around the country to start having talks about bottles that are not from our region.
So now, so there probably are bottle, little mini museums around the thing, and so you could be the repository for all of this, right? If they donate them, if you had room.
Oh yeah, I mean we as I said, we're constantly taking bottles in, and we're moving up onto our 3rd floor now of the 3-story building that we're in, and using that for some overflow storage.
So
at
tell
this
me
point.
about the building, because I saw the
Yep.
picture. We had the picture up there somewhere of the bottle museum itself. Okay, let's take a look at that photo. The one is the front of the bottle museum. Is that correct? And
Yeah.
then that is all those bottles. Is that on the 1st floor or 2nd floor?
That's on the 1st floor as part of our permanent exhibit. As I refer
Okay.
to that as the wall of bottles, which has approximately right now 3,000 bottles on it.
3,000.
Yep. The building itself is from the late 19th century. It was originally an apothecary and dry goods store.
Oh, really?
So those are the old shelving behind the.
So that's why it's the original shelving.
Yes, and in fact, if you look at the very left of that picture, you'll see that there is a rolling stairway,
I know that was.
which we still use to
I
climb
know.
up and down
I
to
mean,
get bottles.
and the last one I saw was the hardware store down on Erie Boulevard that had. Well, I mean, you're the city historian, you know about that. And they had the thing that they slide, and you needed screws this size. They would climb up there and get.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So that gives us a lot of space to display bottles. And then, of course, we have a lot of other exhibits around focusing on things like uranium glass.
Wait, uranium glass?
Uranium glass, yes. It's
So you keep that in a lead case?
Oh,
or-
no. Uranium glass contains very, very little actual uranium.
Okay.
It gives off less radiation than you get from background.
Okay, from an X-ray
sources.
probably.
Right, but it's really neat. It's a yellowish colored glass, also called Vaseline glass. And when shown under black light, it fluoresces. So it's really cool
Oh, that's
to look
where you
at.
get the uranium.
Yes.
Yeah. That's interesting. Now this is something new. I've never heard of this. Yeah. Do you do jars?
Oh yeah, any form of bottles we have.
So I mean, I think of a bottle as being this,
Yep.
but what about a jar?
Oh yeah, I mean we have obviously mineral water and soda bottles, beer bottles, wine bottles, apothecary jars, anything food, milk bottles, anything that contained glass or that contained products that was made of glass. But we do aim more for older bottles, especially ones that were blown as opposed to more modern.
Oh, the blown ones. Yeah, 'cause I have a collection of apothecary. Well, where you have like boric acid, but written in Latin, and it
Yes.
has this label is one that's put on the glass rather than on the glass itself. It kind of fits on there. It's like another piece of glass, I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I'm talking
I know
about, right?
exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So I have a collection of those. So maybe I should leave them to you. I don't know.
We take donations, so
Okay.
if you want to bring them over, we'll be happy.
What I'll do is I'll leave them in my will.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
To make sure. So if you have bottles at home that you believe are collectibles, you might want to check with Chris. Let me just say who's coming on next time, and then we'll finish our conversation. So next time we have the Electric City Chorus. They're going to be on. The Forgettable Four is going to be singing for us. We have the Proctors Collaborative. They got some great shows coming up. We have Schenectady Civic Players. They're talking about 100 Saints. I got to learn more about this one, 100 Saints that I should know anyway. Circles of Mercy is here talking about tax, and we're going to be talking about food again, the taste of the world, and that's with the International Center for the Capital Region. Getting back to you, Chris. So you're still the city historian,
Yes.
so you carry a few balls in the air there.
Yeah, I have no intention of giving up being city historian. There's no conflict of interest. I mean,
No,
it's
not
not
at all.
it's even in a different county, so
Yeah.
there's nothing that crosses.
Well, I
in that way.
didn't even think there would be a conflict there. I mean, how could you do a conflict of interest for history, right?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I think that it's important. To me, history is very important, and I think we sometimes are diminishing it, which we should not. I mean, it's our history. And I love the Bottle Museum. I like that idea. So, and I love the idea that you do the art. And then you have another event coming up in June. What is that?
June 1st, we'll be having our 45th annual bottle show in Saratoga.
And it's called the Saratoga Bottle
The
Show.
Saratoga Bottle Show, yes.
Okay.
Takes place on June 1st, as I said, runs from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's $5 for adults to get in, and children under 16, it's free.
And is this at your museum?
No, this is not at the museum. It's at the, oh goodness, it escapes me exactly where
That's
it
right,
is.
it's another
but
location.
It's on the poster.
Yeah, and it's in June, so, you know.
Yeah. It's at the Saratoga County Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And previously we had let in children 12 or under for free, but as the hobby is changing and aging, we're trying to bring more families,
Okay.
more students, more kids into it.
So you're raising it.
So we're raising the free age to 16, so it
That's
becomes
good.
a nice family outing for a day.
Exactly. All right, and you mentioned that there is a charge for that. But tell me, is there a charge to go to the Bottle Museum?
We ask a donation of $5 for adults who come in.
Which is reasonable.
Yes.
I mean, don't forget, you still got to heat the place. You got to keep it cool. You got to dust those bottles off.
Right. Running a small museum in an old building, there are lots of costs.
Yeah, and how
that are
many
involved.
do you have on your staff?
I am the only professional on the staff.
Okay.
Other than that, we have
And
volunteers and members of the board who come in and do a lot of work.
Yeah, being a board member is not just a title, believe me. You have to roll up your sleeves and help as well. We're almost out of time, but I want to thank you for watching, and I want to thank Chris Leonard so much because he's such an interesting guest. I want to have him on to talk about a little bit more about the history of Schenectady because we live in such a community that has such a history. So let's talk more about
Let's do that because there are some major events coming up in Schenectady. We have the 200th anniversary of the return of Lafayette to the city on June 11th, and we have a big celebration.
We're going
being
to
planned.
talk. We're going to
Yeah.
talk. Good.
And lots of things going on in the next 2 years related to the 250th anniversary of the U.S.,
I know, isn't that amazing?
as well as the Erie Canal.
The Erie Canal.
It's
We
200th
got it all
anniversary
right
this
here.
year.
And thank you for watching. You're watching Capital Region Today, and I'm Ann Pearl, your host, and I love doing this. Thanks for watching.